Hey everybody, something strange has been happening on YouTube. And if you've been paying attention, you've probably seen creators calling out this alarm about this rash of demonetized accounts, and the reaction has been intense. People are frustrated and they're confused, and in many cases, they're genuinely scared because this is their income and this is how they pay the bills. There are larger issues at play here. And while I do not work for Google or YouTube or any of those companies, I honestly don't think this is about censorship or anything like that. I think this is YouTube's way of house cleaning in the AI era. The problem is that people are getting hurt along the way because not enough AI education has been done to help creators understand how AI will actually impact their channel, whether they actually use AI to create their videos or not. And I think this is a systemic issue that goes beyond YouTube. We don't do enough AI education anywhere. People just don't understand it well enough to actually figure things out on their own, especially when they're not getting enough information from YouTube. Now, this is my own opinion, and this is all based on what I'm seeing in the wider tech industry and the needs that a social media platform like YouTube is experiencing as these digital platforms start to reach the breaking point that requires trying to fix a very large scale problem very quickly. The scale of YouTube as a platform is almost impossible to comprehend, with an estimated 14 to 20 billion videos already on the platform. And that scale is at the heart of what is happening to creators as we head into the AI era. Currently, creators worldwide are uploading roughly 500 hours of video every minute, which translates to about 720,000 hours per day and more than 262 million hours per year across both short and long form video content. At that level, we are not just talking about growth. We're talking about industry scale expansion that no human system could ever realistically review or manage in any realistic way. If you take that volume and apply a rough average video length of around 10 to 20 minutes, which is commonly cited in various industry summaries, you'll arrive at an estimate of roughly 1 to 1.5 billion videos being uploaded every year. Some of the underlying upload rate data is widely reported in industry analysis, including Global Media Insight. That's where I'm getting my data from. There is no single agreed upon projection for where this is going to end by, I don't know, 2030. But at current rates, we are clearly moving toward a platform measured in tens of billions of videos, if not far beyond that. Now, layer AI on top of this, and the volume of content being produced does not just grow, it actually accelerates. That shift is already changing how YouTube has to operate as both large scale AI video farms and individual creators begin using tools that allow them to do more and more and more. In some cases, entire channels are effectively automating content pipelines designed to produce high volumes of content at scale. In my view, those AI-driven content systems are pulling attention away from human creators in a very real way that is having very real impact on people. This brings us to the other side of the discussion, which is the experience of both the new and existing viewers who are on the platform. The Guardian recently reported that some estimates, including an analysis of thousands of YouTube channels by Capwing, suggest that More than 20% of videos recommended to new viewers could fall into what is often described as AI slop. And you know what I mean when you see it. It kind of means low quality AI generated content designed to farm views. If that estimate is even directionally correct, it helps to explain why AI generated content is no longer just a niche issue and why it may be starting to impact viewer retention across the platform. Those kinds of numbers probably worry social media platforms, not just YouTube, because where AI is concerned, trust is everything, especially among users like you and me, like regular viewers. We have moved out of the experimentation stage and into implementation. And that shift matters because it's now impacting people everywhere, from their workplaces to their social media streams. Most companies are either thinking about AI or trying to figure out how to use it in ways that are useful and safe and cost effective, often without meaningful regulatory guidance to help them along the way. That means they are relying on their own internal governance rules and adapting those in real time as they learn new things. For users logging in and seeing a growing number of AI generated videos at a time when we keep hearing that people want authentic human content, this can start to feel like a violation of trust among these new viewers. They may not just question the creators, they may begin to question the platform itself because YouTube, it's the one choosing what to send to people. When you look at it from that perspective, the problem YouTube is trying to solve becomes just a little easier to understand. It's not just hosting and distribution. It's an attention platform that depends heavily on trust. Right now, that trust is under pressure because viewers don't always know if a voice is real or if a script was written by a person or if a video is original or assembled from existing material or generated from an AI machine like Sora. To be very clear, we are still figuring out all of this as we go. It is less like a controlled rollout and more like everyone is running around with their pants on fire, trying to build systems, tools, and businesses on top of technology that is still evolving underneath of them. And that's not comfortable. AI is incredibly powerful, but it is also unpredictable. That is the tension companies like YouTube are dealing with right now. One of the ways to understand this, and I think this is really important, is to think about YouTube videos like a recipe. Every video has ingredients, including our visuals, our scripts, our voice, even the audio that's in the video along with our voice. When you put all of those ingredients together, they form something like a DNA structure of your video. And that creates a variety of data signals that make up your video's comprehensive digital signature. It's important to remember that the algorithm is not just watching our videos the way a human does. It is comparing the data inside the videos and comparing that to their patterns that they see in other videos on our channel, in our libraries, and across the platform itself. Algorithms can analyze these patterns across vast data sets to identify repetition, similar phrasing, similar structures, reused templates, and repurposed video clips in a way that humans simply can't. So you might be thinking that you're creating something completely original and you're peppering in AI voice and maybe a soundtrack as a bed or repurposing some video that has audio content or video clips, and you're putting that all in your video. A lot of those elements are being used by other people, and that's something you need to keep in mind. It's also really important to remember that algorithms break down human language into data, which allows them to compare patterns across videos in multiple languages. This is where I think a lot of creators are missing what social media algorithms are likely doing. Even though creators are adding their own thoughts to a video, when too many of these digital signals start to resonate across other channels, that can then send a flag to the system that your videos, that our videos, my videos are kind of becoming repetitive or creating a different signal than what we think we are sending out. And the algorithm compares our videos against these massive batches of videos around the globe. YouTube does maintenance like this in waves and in cycles. So some creators may get flagged today, others maybe 2 months from now, and others still maybe later in the system's process as different segments of the platform get analyzed. Batching things like this is nothing new. YouTube regularly purges bots from the platform. I experienced this myself as a new creator. I made the mistake of hiring a company to help promote my videos when I was brand new. And what they actually did was they pushed my content to bots who subscribed to my channel. And, my subscriptions went up real fast. When YouTube eventually ran one of its December bot purges, a significant portion of my subscribers disappeared. It took months to recover, not just because I lost subscribers, but because the system lost the data it had been using to understand my audience. That purge did not just remove fake users, it disrupted the algorithm's learning signals tied to my channel. And so the algorithm needed time to relearn what my content was all about. The growing presence of bots on social media, both as viewers and as creators, is becoming really hard to ignore, especially as AI agents begin to appear across the internet. Now, imagine a future where AI-driven channels begin to outproduce human creators at scale, generating content specifically optimized for algorithms to send to viewers in ways that are difficult for humans to replicate. Take that one step further and imagine a system where that content is being watched, liked, and amplified by AI agents who are directly influencing YouTube's recommendation system, reinforcing a video's reach and visibility. Then consider what that means for advertisers who may be paying to reach audiences that are not entirely human, and for viewers who begin to disengage due to AI video fatigue. If platforms don't address this problem now, given the scale and pace of AI adoption, it has the potential to seriously undermine platforms over time, which is why some level of intervention is likely necessary now to preserve viewer and advertiser trust. Now, the same Guardian analysis that I mentioned earlier notes that AI-driven channels have already pulled in more than 63 billion views, attracting over 200 million subscribers and generating an estimated $117 million in revenue. That's a lot of money. It is not a fringe issue any longer. It's not something we're likely to be able to stop, which is why guardrails, governance, and constant vigilance are important as we manage this shift in how content is produced and consumed. It carries real implications for human creators if viewer and advertiser trust begins to erode. So, with that in mind, I'm kind of guessing that this demonetization process is probably the next phase of work being done to protect the platform from AI bots, AI agents, and AI driven content, all in the effort to elevate and preserve human creators and human viewers. YouTube hasn't said this is what they are doing, but it's my working theory based on where AI will be in the next 3 to 5 years and what I see happening on YouTube and other social media platforms today. One of the biggest points of failure that we are facing right now is AI education because our understanding of AI is constantly becoming outdated. This means that YouTube doesn't just need to clean up rogue accounts, it also needs to communicate these changes regularly and with detail to creators who can then work to avoid including data signals in our human made videos that resemble the signal patterns emerging from AI driven media. And that is something that I'm not sure is being done adequately. The problem is that human creators are getting caught up in the demonetization net because some of their videos resemble the digital signals that the algorithm monitors and uses to identify content that is being mass produced by these big video mills. That's where YouTube needs to do a better job of educating and alerting creators to the kinds of elements that feed into the digital signals that so many of our future videos are going to fall into so that we don't get caught in that low value or low quality trap. So, why is all of this important to know as a creator? Well, AI systems also are really good at detecting patterns that often show up in AI assisted or widely reused content. If your video contains elements that are used across thousands of other videos, it increases the likelihood that the system might flag that video as repetitive. Some of those triggers could be as innocent as the use of the same song as a bed in your video from video to video video. The same type of game clips that get used across a large number of videos can also trigger that because they have the same sounds and they have the same, audio triggers. And repurposing the same video clips in our commentary and reaction videos can have the same results, especially if multiple channels are responding to the same video clip with the same audio that is shown in the same rhythms and patterns in multiple different videos. All of these things create these repetitive digital signals in our channel's data. Even if we are adding our own unique perspectives to the videos that incorporate these kinds of elements, it doesn't change that underlying digital signature. So we have to be aware of that. For instance, to go a little bit deeper, sound is really significant as a contributing factor here because it adds to the video's digital signature in ways that we aren't thinking about. When considering the audio layer in your video, lots of human made videos now use these really high quality AI voices, which are spectacular for sure. Now, think about the number of creators, both locally and globally, who are likely using the same AI voices, which come from a relatively small group of AI voice companies. Even the best AI voices have a tone and cadence or rhythm that feels slightly off to the human ear. And if we can hear it, there's a reasonable assumption that an algorithm can detect it in the underlying data for your video as well. Plus, that same AI voice can also produce similar patterns across different languages because the system is analyzing the digital signals, not just the words. What this means is that these AI voices that we use, they're literally in thousands of videos. And we're not unique when we use it, even if we are expressing our unique thoughts through those voices. From the algorithm's perspective, your content is now part of a larger cluster of videos that sound the same at a structural digital level. That is how AI systems work. They detect patterns across large data sets, and those patterns may be undermining your ability to stand out as a human creator. Using an AI voice seems like an easy win and makes really good sense in some instances, but it's something that we really need to balance with the goals of our channel and how we want our videos to engage with the YouTube algorithm. The current situation feels super messy because the enforcement and the appeal system appear to be largely automated, which makes sense given the volume of the content that is being reviewed. But creators are reporting really inconsistent outcomes, vague explanations, and limited transparency. They just don't understand why this is happening and how they can improve. It might make better sense to start rethinking now how your processes work. Record your own voice. Avoid using music beds in your videos and think differently about how and when we repurpose existing content. These are just a few tips that I think will help. They may not solve all the problems, but it will immediately eliminate a lot of that data signal that looks like so many other videos out there, or like so many of the other videos that you've already created, especially if you have a large catalog of videos. Many creators are getting really upset that their videos remain on the platform while these ads keep running after they are demonetized. I think it's important for people to also remember that those creator sites and all of their videos are still being hosted and stored for free on YouTube. That requires infrastructure and bandwidth and ongoing operational costs that are paid for by YouTube in order to host your videos, which I think is why they're still running those ads, because they want to get paid for hosting your content. As awful and unfair as that feels, because it does feel like they're making money off of our work without giving us any payment, I am just glad that YouTube is not deleting people's channels as part of this process, which would be far worse. I know that it would devastate me because I actually don't have storage for all my videos. If YouTube deleted my channel, I would I don't know. I think I would lose all of my work over the years. And I would actually want the opportunity to download all those things if I were demonetized. I might even consider removing my videos myself so that they're not making money off of them. But you know what? That is a personal choice. It's something that everybody is going to have to make for themselves, depending on how they feel they fit into YouTube as I don't know, as their processes start to consolidate and congeal around a lot of these forces that they're now having to deal with. And creators, they need more solid guidelines for what could tip a video or a channel into being flagged for demonetization. I am making a lot of guesses here about AI driven channels based on what little guidance people have been given and have shared publicly. The thing is, I genuinely enjoy some of the creative uses of AI in music, education, and storytelling, but those instances are not the norm. Instead, there are a lot of videos out there that I just click away from. And here's the thing, if YouTube is seeing signals like that from viewers who prefer content that feels more human and more distinct, or AI content that is maybe a little more designed with a human feel in mind, that eliminates some of those repetitive patterns and tries to avoid using AI voices, I think it would make sense for them to just say that in plain language that is, I don't know, point blank, so that we all can understand it and we can use that guidance in our creative processes in the future so that none of us have to deal with this. Without that kind of guidance, I think the best thing that we as creators can do is to be far more intentional than we have been about the elements that we include in our videos, as well as the rhythms and the structures that we use. I don't know how this is going to impact YouTube's recommendation engine, but I do think it will at least keep our videos from being caught up in that demonetization dragnet that is hurting so many people right now. This means that we need to find ways to inject content that doesn't feel repetitive, along with our natural voices, and content that keeps our videos from blending with that larger pool of videos. And I think this also means that we are not just competing with other creators in our niches, we are competing with digital patterns across an entire global ocean of content, much of which is being created by AI viewing farms. And I know this video is a little outside of my normal, and it's not kind of what I usually do here. My channel is built around movie reviews and storytelling, as well as technology. And that is the heart of what I love talking about. However, this topic really does sit right at the intersection of technology, storytelling, and the future of content, which is something that I really care deeply about, which is why I am taking the time to create this longer video that's just a talking head. I just want to get this information out there. Take it as you will. If this is helpful to you, or if this gave you something new to think about, I would really appreciate a like on this video. If you like movies, you might even consider checking out one of my other videos to see if my style of reviewing is for you. And if it is, why not subscribe? Okay, that's it for now, you guys. I'll see you all again soon. Until then, happy viewing. Bye for now.